There is a moment that arrives without warning, a phone call you didn't expect, an email that changes everything, a conversation that ends something you thought would last. In that moment, the world does not feel philosophical, it feels personal. Your chest tightens, your thoughts race. And suddenly, you are face to face with yourself. Not the version of you that speaks confidently when things are calm, but the version that emerges under pressure. This is the moment that reveals the architecture of your inner world. Some people collapse into fear, some explode in anger, some distract themselves until the feeling fades. But a rare few remain steady, not because they are emotionless, not because they are lucky, but because they prepared internally long before the storm ever appeared. The truth is, life does not break people randomly. It exposes the places where we are untrained. Buddhist philosophy has never promised a painless life. It does not say you will avoid loss, rejection, uncertainty, or failure. Instead, it offers something far more practical and far more powerful. The ability to develop a mind that does not shatter under pressure. A mind that can experience pain without becoming panic. A mind that can face uncertainty without collapsing into chaos. Strength, in this sense, is not loud. It is quiet. It is built in ordinary days, in small internal decisions, in moments when no one is watching. Long before the crisis arrives, the training has already begun. So the real question is not whether life will test you. It will. The question is, who will you be when it does? Will you be someone who is ruled by impulse, fear, and circumstance, or someone who has cultivated steadiness from the inside out? Today, we are not talking about surface-level motivation. We are exploring 7 inner disciplines, subtle but powerful shifts that reshape how you experience pain, pressure, and uncertainty. These disciplines do not make you invincible, they make you grounded. And when the next storm comes, because it will, you will not need to run. You will stand. Lesson 1. Become comfortable with internal discomfort. There is a hidden weakness that most people never notice in themselves. It is not lack of intelligence. It is not lack of talent. It is the inability to remain steady when discomfort appears. The moment anxiety rises, they rush to silence it. The moment sadness appears, they distract themselves. The moment uncertainty shows up, they try to control everything. Modern life has trained us to escape discomfort instantly. We can numb ourselves with entertainment, noise, food, productivity, or endless scrolling. But every time we escape, we unknowingly teach the mind that discomfort is dangerous. And when the mind believes discomfort is danger, even small emotional waves begin to feel like storms. Buddhist wisdom teaches something far more powerful than emotional suppression. It teaches expansion. Not the elimination of pain, but the expansion of your capacity to hold it. Emotional strength is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It is about increasing your tolerance so that feelings can rise and fall without controlling you. When fear appears, can you allow it to exist without immediately reacting? When rejection stings, can you observe the sensation in your body instead of turning it into a story about your worth? The mind becomes resilient the moment it stops running. Avoidance creates fragility. Presence builds power. The goal is not to create a painless life. That is an illusion. The goal is to become someone whose inner stability is greater than the discomfort they experience. Every time you choose to remain present instead of escaping, you strengthen your nervous system. Every time you face a difficult emotion without collapsing into panic, you expand your capacity. Over time, something shifts. You no longer feel threatened by temporary feelings. You understand that discomfort is a visitor, not an identity. And in that understanding, a new sense of strength is born. You are no longer someone who must run from inner storms. You are becoming someone who can stay. Lesson 2. Insert space between stimulus and self. Every single day, something tries to pull you out of yourself. An email that feels disrespectful, a comment on social media that questions your intelligence, a driver cutting you off in traffic, a passive-aggressive remark at work. The world is full of triggers, and most people believe those triggers are the problem. They blame the email, the comment, the coworker, the situation. But if you look closely, the trigger is rarely what causes the suffering. The real damage is done by the automatic reaction that follows. The sharp reply, the angry message, the silent resentment, the spiral of thoughts that lasts for hours. It is not the stimulus that controls you. It is the unconscious reaction that happens before you are even aware of it. Buddhist philosophy teaches that freedom begins in a very small space, a gap so subtle that most people never notice it. The space between what happens and how you respond. In that gap lies your power. When something triggers you, there is a split second where you can either become your first impulse or observe it. That pause may last only one breath, but that breath can change everything. Instead of firing back instantly, you notice the heat rising in your chest. Instead of sending the emotional reply, you step away. Instead of escalating the conflict, you choose clarity. This pause is not weakness. It is strength in its most disciplined form. The powerful truth is that this gap is trainable. The more you practice awareness, the wider the pause becomes. At first, you may only notice your reaction after it happens. Then you begin to notice it as it happens. Eventually, you notice it before it happens. And in that moment, you reclaim authorship over your behavior. You realize that you are not your first impulse. You are not the surge of anger, the rush of defensiveness, or the wave of anxiety. Those are temporary movements in the mind. You are the awareness behind them. When you learn to insert space between stimulus and self, you stop being controlled by the world's noise. You become steady in situations that once shook you. And that quiet pause becomes one of the greatest forms of power you will ever develop. Lesson 3. Win the first hour of the day. The way you wake up is quietly shaping the person you become. Most people open their eyes and immediately hand their mind to the world. Notifications, emails, news, messages, deadlines. Before their feet even touch the floor, their nervous system is already reacting. Stress hormones rise, comparison begins, urgency takes over, and without realizing it, they have surrendered their internal state to whatever appears on a screen. This is why so many people feel anxious before the day has even started. They are not choosing their state, they are absorbing it. The first hour of your day is not just time, it is programming. It sets your emotional baseline. It tells your nervous system whether today will be lived in reaction or intention. If the first thing you consume is chaos, your mind prepares for chaos. If the first thing you consume is pressure, your body prepares for pressure. Buddhist discipline teaches awareness of cause and effect. What you expose your mind to first becomes the lens through which you interpret the rest of your day. That is why protecting the first hour is not about productivity. It is about identity. Before the world tells you who to be, you decide who you will be. Winning the first hour does not require anything dramatic. It requires intention. Instead of reaching for your phone, sit in silence for a few minutes. Breathe slowly. Feel your body. Ask yourself what kind of energy you want to carry today. Calm, focused, patient, disciplined. Reflect on one principle you want to embody. Visualize yourself responding with clarity in situations that would normally trigger you. This is identity rehearsal. You are not just planning tasks, you are preparing your character. When you begin the day grounded and deliberate, you move differently. Emails do not shake you as easily. Comments do not pull you off center. Pressure does not immediately become panic. Over time, something shifts. You stop waking up reactive. You begin waking up powerful. And you realize a simple truth that changes everything. You decide your state before the world does. Lesson 4. Withdraw energy from the uncontrollable. One of the most exhausting habits in modern life is worrying about things you cannot influence. It feels responsible, it feels productive, it even feels necessary. You replay conversations in your mind. You predict worst-case scenarios. You analyze how others might respond. You try to mentally control outcomes before they happen. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Worry consumes enormous energy while changing absolutely nothing. The mind confuses mental rehearsal with real control, yet no amount of overthinking can guarantee a specific result. What it does guarantee is anxiety, tension, and emotional fatigue. Control, in many areas of life, is an illusion we cling to because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. You cannot control how someone interprets your words. You cannot control market shifts, company decisions, traffic delays, or how others behave. You can influence outcomes through effort, preparation, and discipline. But influence is not the same as control. Buddhist wisdom teaches clarity about cause and effect. You control your effort. You control your choices. You control your responses. But the outcome exists in a wider web of factors beyond you. When you confuse effort with outcome, you suffer. When you separate them, you gain freedom. Peace begins when you redirect energy inward instead of leaking it outward. Imagine how much mental space you reclaim when you stop trying to manage other people's opinions. Imagine the clarity that emerges when you stop obsessing over results you cannot force. This is not passive surrender, it is strategic energy management. You withdraw attention from what drains you and invest it where it multiplies. You refine your skills. You strengthen your discipline. You improve your mindset. You build internal stability. Emotional freedom starts the moment your energy is no longer scattered across uncontrollable variables. Over time, this shift changes your identity. You stop being someone who reacts to every uncertainty. You become someone who focuses on controllable inputs. Instead of asking, how do I make this turn out perfectly? You ask, what is the best action I can take right now? That single question returns power to your hands. When your energy is no longer wasted on illusions of control, it compounds inside you. And that is when you discover a quieter strength. You invest energy where it multiplies, and you release the rest without regret. Lesson 5. Curate your inputs ruthlessly. Whether you realize it or not, your mind is being shaped every single day by what you repeatedly expose it to. Not in dramatic ways, in subtle, invisible ways. The conversations you tolerate, the news you consume, the social media accounts you follow, the background noise that fills your space. Repeated exposure becomes internal architecture. If you constantly absorb outrage, your mind learns outrage. If you constantly absorb comparison, your mind learns inadequacy. If you constantly absorb chaos, your nervous system learns tension. You are not only shaped by your thoughts, you are shaped by your inputs. Modern life makes this more dangerous than ever. News cycles are designed to trigger urgency and fear. Social media is designed to provoke comparison and emotional spikes. Doom scrolling keeps your nervous system in a constant low-grade state of alert. You wake up and immediately absorb the problems of the world. You compare your ordinary moments to someone else's highlight reel. You consume arguments, negativity, and endless opinions. And then, you wonder why your mind feels restless. Your nervous system mirrors your environment. If your environment is loud, your thoughts become loud. If your environment is anxious, your body becomes anxious. This is why boundaries are not selfish. They are self-respect. You do not owe your attention to everything. You do not need to absorb every headline. You do not need to respond to every message instantly. You do not need to keep people in your life who consistently drain your energy. Curating your inputs does not mean isolating yourself from reality. It means choosing what influences your internal state. It means deciding that your peace is valuable enough to protect. It means understanding that attention is a limited resource, and where you place it shapes who you become. Simplicity strengthens clarity. When your environment is clean, your mind feels clearer. When your digital consumption is intentional, your thoughts feel calmer. When you reduce noise, you increase focus. Imagine replacing 30 minutes of scrolling with 30 minutes of reading something thoughtful. Imagine replacing reactive conversations with silence. Imagine limiting exposure to people who thrive on drama. Over time, the effects compound. Your mind becomes less scattered. Your reactions become less impulsive. Your emotional baseline stabilizes. Eventually, your identity shifts. You no longer live at the mercy of external stimulation. You no longer allow random inputs to dictate your mood. You understand that what you repeatedly consume becomes what you repeatedly think. And so you choose carefully. You build an environment that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. You become deliberate about who and what gets access to your attention, and in that discipline, a powerful truth emerges. Your environment works for you, not against you. Lesson 6. Anchor into a stable inner identity. If you do not define who you are, the world will do it for you. It will label you based on your performance, your appearance, your income, your social status, your successes, and your failures. One good year and you feel worthy. One mistake and you feel inadequate. One compliment lifts you. One criticism ruins your entire day. This is what happens when identity is built on external feedback. You become emotionally dependent on forces you cannot control. And that dependency creates fragility. When validation becomes your foundation, your stability rises and falls with other people's opinions. A stable inner identity works differently. It is not built on mood. It is not built on applause. It is built on principles. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes the importance of knowing your inner ground. Not your image, not your reputation, but your character. What do you stand for when no one is watching? What values guide your decisions? What kind of person you choose to be, regardless of the outcome? When identity is anchored in core values rather than external approval, emotional volatility decreases. You are less shaken by praise because you are not defined by it. You are less destroyed by criticism because you are not built on it. Without a clear inner framework, every situation feels like a threat to your identity. A disagreement feels like rejection. A failure feels like exposure. A setback feels like proof that you are not enough. But when you clarify your values, something shifts. You stop asking, do they approve of me? You start asking, did I act in alignment with my principles? That question restores power, because principles are within your control. Approval is not. Clarifying your core values is not a dramatic exercise, it is a quiet one. What matters more to you than comfort? Integrity, discipline, compassion, courage, patience, responsibility. Choose deliberately, reflect on them regularly, and more importantly, practice returning to them during chaos. When emotions rise, anchor to a principle. When pressure increases, anchor to a value. When uncertainty clouds your thinking, ask what kind of person you want to be in this moment. Over time, your identity becomes less reactive and more intentional. You are no longer pulled in every direction by mood or public opinion. You move from a place of internal alignment. You respond based on who you have chosen to become, not on what others expect from you. This is not stubbornness, It is stability. It is the calm confidence that comes from knowing your foundation is internal. Eventually, a powerful shift occurs. You stop acting from pressure. You start acting from principles. And when identity is rooted in values rather than validation, life loses much of its power to shake you. Lesson 7. Master the quiet power of consistency. In the beginning, intensity feels powerful. You feel motivated, focused, determined. You make bold promises to yourself. You change your routine overnight. You push hard for a few days, maybe a few weeks. And then, something shifts. Energy drops. Life gets busy. Emotions fluctuate. And the intensity that once felt unstoppable slowly fades. This is where most people misunderstand growth. They believe transformation comes from bursts of passion. But passion is unstable. It rises quickly and disappears just as quickly. Stability, not intensity, is what builds real strength. Discipline works differently. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It does not announce itself. Discipline compounds quietly. A small decision repeated daily becomes a habit. A habit repeated for months becomes character. Character repeated for years becomes identity. Inner strength is rarely built in visible moments. It is built in invisible repetitions. Waking up when you said you would. Holding your reaction when you want to lash out. Returning to your practice even when you feel unmotivated. These moments seem small, almost insignificant. But they accumulate. Emotional resilience grows the same way muscles grow. Not from one extreme effort, but from repeated, controlled resistance. Every time you choose patience over impulse, you strengthen emotional control. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of escaping, you increase tolerance. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you reinforce trust in yourself. This is how psychological immunity is formed. Not by avoiding stress, but by facing small amounts consistently. Over time, challenges that once overwhelmed you begin to feel manageable. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. Consistency also reshapes how you see yourself. Instead of identifying as someone who depends on motivation, you begin to see yourself as someone who follows through. You no longer chase emotional highs to feel productive. You rely on routine, you build structure, you accept that progress is slow and often invisible. There are no dramatic breakthroughs, there is only steady construction. And that steadiness creates confidence. Not loud confidence, but grounded confidence. The kind that does not disappear when circumstances change. Eventually, your identity shifts. You stop looking for quick transformation. You stop measuring growth in days. You understand that strength is built in silence. You move differently, not because you are trying to impress anyone, but because your habits have reshaped you from the inside out. When storms come, you do not panic. You respond with stability that has been practiced thousands of times in small moments. This is the quiet power of consistency. You build strength without noise. You grow without needing applause. You become resilient, not through intensity, but through repetition. And over time, a simple truth becomes part of who you are. You build strength quietly. Closing reflection. One day, life will test you again. It may come quietly, disguised as a small disappointment. Or it may arrive suddenly, shaking the ground beneath your plans. A conversation you did not expect, a result you did not want, a change you did not prepare for. These moments are unavoidable. They are part of being human. But the next time it happens, something will be different. The situation may look similar to the past. The pressure may feel familiar. Yet internally, you will not be the same. That moment will not meet the version of you who panics at discomfort. It will not meet the version of you who reacts without thinking. It will not meet the version of you who seeks validation before acting. or who wastes energy fighting what cannot be controlled. It will meet someone steadier, someone who can pause before responding, someone who protects attention and guards their internal state, someone who returns to principles when emotions rise, someone who understands that strength is built quietly, over time, through consistent discipline. The storm may still blow, but it will not find chaos inside you. This is what it truly means to become unshakable. Not that pain disappears, not that fear never visits, not that life becomes easy. It means your foundation is no longer fragile. It means you bend without breaking, you feel without collapsing, you move forward without losing yourself. And that kind of stability cannot be purchased or performed. It is built deliberately, moment by moment, choice by choice. So as you leave this message, do not look for immediate transformation. Look for daily practice. Look for small shifts in awareness. Look for the next opportunity to stay present, to pause, to choose principle over pressure. That is where your strength grows. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Deepest Wisdom and continue building the kind of mind that life cannot easily disturb.